I'm just going to start making little X's in the sky. And I'll start right about here is where I want my light source to be. And that purple that we put on right at the beginning is going to be the source of all of our color in the sky. And as I go, the goal, and I may not be perfect with this, is to get darker, darker, darker as we get away from the center so that this looks like a night sky. Now, I don't want uniformity. I want little pockets. So you probably see some pockets where it's lighter than others. I want that. That's part of the plan. It's going to make the whole thing look more natural. All right. That probably doesn't look like much with all that light on it. It's a lot more going on here. Then I'm going to take a large brush. I'm just going to sort of smooth out these colors. I don't want all those brush strokes in there. I want just a softer. I don't want dead. I don't want all the same color, but I want it to be softer than it is right now. And most of this sky is going to get covered up, so I'm not too concerned about it. Next thing I want to do is I want to put some clouds in the sky. So I'm going to take some purple, spread that out right here, and I'm just going to take a little knife, little ridge of paint on the knife, and I'm going to make maybe a little bigger than that. And I'm just going to make some streaks across the sky. And as Bob would say, I'm just going to let it happen. I'm just going to do what's going to happen. Whatever comes off the knife, wherever it comes, it comes. We'll fix it later on. But I am going to try and sort of cut back this way and maybe make it a little smaller as I go so that it looks like that's getting further away. Now I'm going to take a big old brush, that big old brush again. Very gently, I'm just going to sort of moosh this out sideways. It's going to give it that sort of appearance of clouds, a little more. I don't know if you can see that with all this light in the way. It's not, I do not have professional lighting. So now, I'm happy with it. One of the neat things about this is you cannot play with it too much. You play with it too much, it goes away on you. Take just a little bit of blue. That's too much. That's too much. Again. And I'm just going to make an off-white color to sort of layer these clouds with a little highlight. Just a little bit. That's probably it. Now, a light source is here, so we're going to light up the bottom of these clouds a little bit. Just a little like strike here and there. Again, I'm just sort of tapping along, letting the canvas take what it wants, where it wants, and the rest of it, that's chance. Then I'm just going to, again, brush this out. That's not working. Dry brush. totally dry brush. Nice thing about white, just give it a little push, it will go away on you. Next thing I want to do is I want to build a mountain. Big old mountain. I'm going to use that mountain to cover most of this part right here where it's a little too bright for what we're going for. And again, you might not be able to see this in the dark, but I promise you once we start the highlights, you'll be able to see this. So take that same ridge of paint. I'm just going to touch right here of the clouds. I'm going to drag. And all I care about right now is that top edge of the mountain. Everything else I'm going to mess with quite a bit before I'm done. That top edge of the mountain, that's the real deal right now. So we're going to try to put a little bump in there. And I'm going to use a little bit more paint here where the white is, just to cover that up, because this is going to be a mountain. I don't want to be able to see through it. Again, the goal is not paint anything just yet. We're just getting some base color down. Probably far enough. We'll put some other stuff over there so we don't really need to worry about finishing the mountain. Yeah. What do you say to one more bump? One more little bump out there somewhere. And again, I'm going to let that drift off sort of into nothing because I'm going to paint some more stuff over here. And I don't need, quite frankly, to paint the rest of the mountain. So now, take my brush. I'm just going to pull all this stuff down. And this does a couple of things. One, there's too much paint on here right now for what we're going to do. So this is going to get rid of some of that paint. It's going to put it on the brush where I want it. And it's going to cause, as you probably can see, the mountain to get lighter towards the bottom. What we want when we're doing these is we want the mountain to fade as it goes down. Mountains, when you can see the whole thing, should always be darker and more distinct at the top and should be softer near the bottom.
Hey, Mr. Orlando?
Yes, ma'am.
You might want to angle it forward a bit. The glare is.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a. Let me see if I can mess with it. I never play with this thing because I can see it all fine. Let's see.
Or pick the camera up.
The camera is on a box. Wait, I think I got it. How's that?
Better?
Better?
Getting there? That's better.
I think
Better
that's
there.
yeah, I think any further and I'm gonna. Oh wow, that's aggressive from my end, but all right, we'll try it. Whatever happens, happens. We're gonna be happy with it no matter what, right? So now I'm just gonna play around a little bit, and I wanna sort of pick out my highlights and shadows ahead of time. And I could do that with brush strokes. You probably cannot see that here. I can barely see it with the thing tilted this way. All right. Now the fun part. This is the part that's going to pop. This is the first thing that's actually going to really look like something, is we're going to highlight this mountain. And to do that, I'm going to use a lot of white and just a little touch blue. I want to get this beautiful little off-white sort of snow color. I'm going to start here. I'm just going to drop my knife ever so gently. And it's going to do a whole bunch of things all at once. It's going to make peaks and valleys because the paint's going to break. It's not going to be evenly covered everywhere. And as I go, it's going to mix with that purple underneath, and it's going to leave me a whole bunch of new little colors I don't really have to think about, which is sort of the goal here, is I want it to be easy for me to do without looking like I just slapped the paint on there. Now we'll do this big guy. That's sort of look like something over there. You guys can see that now. Now here's a trick. I want this mountain to be in front of this one. So I'm going to make a clearly defined sort of line as I go through. I'm just going to be extra careful to make sure that's unbroken. And that's going to give the illusion that this one is way back in the back. And that's one of the keys to success here, is to have something that looks like distance. We want the painting to give a sense of scale. Maybe these come together. Maybe, how about this? Maybe we'll make them come together. Maybe that one's coming back in and there's just a shadow behind. And make another one. I'm gonna add a peak right here. A little more. This one, I think I want to keep distinctly in front. And we'll cheat a little bit, which I'll show you soon. Maybe we'll get this one over here. We still got to do. Have that one drop quickly. Get some color down there. Just play with later. Now, big idea. We've got if you have a highlight, you got to have a shadow. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of that highlight color that I've been using, and I'm going to mix it with the purple that I've made a whole bunch of at the beginning. And that I'm just going to put at a sort of an opposite angle. A little bit. That's too bright. And that's going to give it that look like there's something there. Rare pleasure. If you can hear that, I don't know if that's audible from here. My children are fighting. Something that never happens, Grandma. Never. Okay. That looks kind of like a mountain. Happy with that. Now we're going to take a dry brush. Make sure it's dry by beating the devil out of it. Here, I'll do it where you can see it. This is a Bob Ross thing. And now we're going to make some mist. We're gonna sort of calm the bottom of this mountain down. The way we do that, gently tap all the way along the base. Ruin our beautiful work. Tap it. And then we just give it a little tiny push. Very gently, very softly, because what we want to do is we want to create the impression that there's just a little bit of mist at the base of that mountain. It's going to float away in nothingness as we put foreground in front of it, which it's probably time to do. Put in some foreground. So what I want to do first, I want to put in a large line of trees that are going to separate this background from the foreground. I want to do that in a way that's really easy. Now what I want to get, if I get this done right, is I want to get these trees to look like they're far away. So I don't want a lot of detail. I don't want to show lots of variation. So I'm just going to take my fan brush, sort of beat the trees in. Vary the size a little bit. That's very important. You don't want them all. Some of my earlier stuff, you just have a row of trees that are all exactly the same size. I'm trying to let them strike into that light spot because dark against light plays better and you'll be able to see them. And when I put foreground in front of them, you'll be able to see them even better. A little more. Really simple way to make a whole lot of trees all at once without doing a whole lot. I'm going to make it go up here a little bit to cover that edge of that mountain. And I'm going to put some stuff over there, so I don't need that. All right, another sneaky trick. I'm going to show you a sneaky trick while we're here. I want to give all these little trees the impression of trunks. But I am not going across there to paint thousands of little trunks in. So I'm going to use my small fan brush. I'm just going to gently push up. And it's going to leave you, I don't know if you can see that. Is my camera good enough to see that? Thousands of little strokes that are going to look kind of like tree trunks. Try and do those straight up. Okay, not bad. Not great, not bad. So time to get to business. Let's make some land. Get some green, and I'm going to get some yellow if I can find it. Get some yellow, and we're going to try to make some effective looking grass. But we've already got purple on there, so everything could come out a little bit darker than I have it on the palette. So what I'm going to do is my grass is going to be mostly yellow and just a little bit of green. And you'll see no matter how hard I try, I can't get my grass to look yellow because of the purple. So you get a very nice light color. And then I'm just going to start tapping. If I do it right, I'm going to make thousands of little dots all along the paper, or all along canvas, which is going to make it look like I've spent all this time and energy painting a field. Have you ever looked at a Bob Ross painting and wondered how he does it in 20 minutes? Fade away nothingness over this way. And maybe we'll come down about like that. And you can see where I've pushed it a little bit more. Maybe you can see it's a little darker because of that purple coming out underneath. Now, we're going to take a little bit of browns and we're going to make a shoreline because there's going to be some water in this painting. So I'm going to take some of my brown, my dark brown with my light brown. Light brown, come back. Here's some light brown and some dark brown. And I'm just going to use that brown to separate the green from the blue that's going to show up in a minute. Grab myself a filbert brush, see how much of a mess I can make. Filbert brush. I'm going to take my two browns, mix them, maybe a little bit more of the light one. Mix my browns up. I'm just going to spread a little tiny line in right here. And that's going to be my, when I get there, that's going to be my shoreline. Probably can't even see that, but it'll show up a little better when it's up against the blue. So we need water. Believe it or not, we're going to make water with the knife. So I'm going to grab more of my blue, more of my white. I'm going to make a nice light watercolor here. And I'm just going to start kind of tapping again. And again, the goal is to sort of accept that the undercoat, the purple, is going to show up a little bit in this and make that water look a little bit darker than it otherwise would be with the very light color I'm using. Also, I want to point out I'm trying to go mostly horizontal here because I want the water to look like it's still. Water finds its level. So we gotta keep the water. Get more in there. I can be a little rougher with it down there because I know what's about to happen there. A little more. Now let's get some excitement. Because flat water is fun. What's cooler than flat water? Waterfall. I'm going to load up. That's not enough. We'll find out. We'll make more if it's not. Load up the fan brush. And make myself. Simple as that. Waterfall. That's not enough. I want more blue in there. Let's come back in. Got more. Need more. More white. See, Bob did this in 30 minutes. I'm about halfway done. Get a little more of this. A little more blue in there. Happy with that. All right, what's next? A little more. See that, and that says to me, I need a little more. Okay, let's put in something for all this to stand on. So I'm going to get more of that brown. I'm just going to coat in a little bit of dark. Again, you won't be able to see that. I just want to cover up some of that purple so that I don't get it as a prominent color over here. So not much going on at the moment. I'm going to dull down that purple that's already in the canvas. And let's make some foreground trees. Start with cleaning this off because I've used too many fan brushes. Now I want a nice dark color. So I'm going to use some really interesting colors to make trees sometimes. So I'm going to use some dark blue, some brown, and the rest of that purple. I'm going to make a color that's only job is to be dark, because the color that we're going to put on it is going to be a highlight. So this is our background color right now. So bear with me just a second. Gotta make the color. Grab some purple, grab some brown, grab some blue. Grab a little bit of green so that we can pretend. But I almost want this to look black. That's not going to look black. Got the white on it. Messed it up. Don't be afraid to say no. Get rid of that. That color wasn't it. Try it again. And down. And so. A nice dark kind of green color. That's what we're looking for. Again, most of this is going to show, and it's certainly not going to show prominently. So we're going to load up the fan brush. We're going to make some trees. I'm going to make trees down here. Make a little line. I just go back and forth with my fan brush. I catch the water and it's all bad. It's all right. Deal with that too. Paint. And make it all just a little bit darker. And again, we have a couple of layers of stuff to go on top of this. So it should be fine. Another one. I don't want to see too much through these because I want to make them dark, nice and dark. I'm really worried down there because I've just got a mishmash of things, and I'll clean those up with highlights. So now we did the back, and we paint everything back to front. So now I'm going to paint the middle, and what's in the middle of a tree? The trunks. Take the knife again. And I'm just going to touch here and there that same blue color. And it's going to give the illusion that there are more trees back there than the 3 that I painted. I don't know if you can even see that. Those make it brighter for you. Maybe? Nah. Whatever. We're going to be happy. Now I'm going to take my light fan brush and I am going to make a highlight color. Oh, no, not with that one. More washing. Now the nice step to the wash, the nice side benefit to the washing is that we're going to get a little bit of paint thinner on the brush, which we want because we want our highlight color to be a little bit thinner than our base color. That way it sticks better. And again, the goal here is to get some yellow and some green, although I probably want this to be darker and greener than those colors over there. Hopefully we can get it to stand out on the zoom camera. Just a little bit. I want to keep these pretty dark. I don't know if you can even see that. It's there. Just want to give the impression. This is pretty dark in this scene. You just want to give the impression of some highlights. So that's working out for me. Bring these in. That's what we're looking at. We just want to get a little bit of color on there. Just trying to get by. Now we're going to go back. We're going to make some land for us to stand. Get some nice yellow green. I'm just going to do this again. Get that little tap, tap, tap going. And if we're going to have a waterfall, we need to fall, don't we? So I'm going to take some more brown, and I'm going to make a little cliff over there. Just a little cliff. I'm going to make that very dark. You might not even be able to see it, because that seems to be the theme of this particular painting, given my lighting conditions. And we're going to take the brown. And we're just going to go. And you notice the action of the little cliff is actually the same as the action of the waterfall. It's going to leave just the littlest impression of a cliff face there. And again, I know my camera is not doing this justice, but it's there. And if you were here, you could see it. So now, come around, and I am going to finish Now let's do the other side. We want the other side done too. There's got to be some cliff over there, and we already got the cliff out. Let's make the cliff. Now I'm going to let the water take control in the front. Now that I've got a bound for it, take my fan brush. Which is now full of all the wrong colors. I'm going to clean that off. Yeah. I know. It's been a lot of cleaning lately, but try and do it right for you. Get a little more white, get a little more blue. I'd like to say I'm not used to talking for 45 minutes without anyone interrupting me, but let's face it, you all know better. So again, we're going to make a little more water down here with mostly, oh, that's a little, mostly it's a rough water. And it's okay if this is a little darker because we're going to be down below the, I don't want to do this. I might do this with the fan brush, if I can find it. So many fan brushes. Where'd you go, buddy? Here it is. All right. Get my fan brush nice and clean. I'm going to use a very light color. Can't go overboard with that. Dry it off a little bit. I'm going to start by making some splashes because, of course, water's going to twist and turn down here by the bottom. Just by pushing up, I get these little lashes, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub down here. So I want this water dark. This water is covered. The light source is back here, and this is under. So if I just give this a little rub, I get that impression that the water down here is darker. Maybe this opens out into something bigger. All right. Put a little more green right here. I'm seeing a spot that I missed. And now I'm going to try something that I haven't done in a long time. So this comes out looking bad. Oh, it doesn't look bad. So we're going to take a big old bravery test here. We're going to take our fan brush and we're going to make a big tree just right out front. It's going to sit on this hill. We're not going to see much of this tree because it's so big and it's so close to us. So I'm going to take my brown. More. See what I can get, what the canvas will give me. Load this up. Maybe. And I'm just going to go top to bottom. I'll ruin my painting. Just like that. Now, let's see if we can't fix this. A little more grass in so we can see what's going on over there. Now, I'm going to try and make a little bit of a birch feel. I want to be able to feel this tree. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to do sort of the same thing I did for the water. Just put some very simple highlights on this tree so we can see the light sort of reflecting off it. I don't know how that's looking on your end. Maybe it's working out. Maybe I might save this thing after all. Yeah, there we go. And then I want just a little bit of reflected light on the back. Use a little bit of red and some of the brown for that, because I want that to be pretty dark, pretty close to the color I already have. And we'll just try some of that. And I think go ahead and call that one done. Of course, no painting would be complete without a signature. Since I know that's what you're all waiting for. You're all waiting for the part where Mr. Orlando signs the painting. I'm going to take just a little bit here. Make it this nice and thin with some paint thinner. So it's nice and watery. Just like Bob would have done. I'm going to sign it in red. Got a nice consistency here. Almost in one. And we'll give it a little sign. All right, I got a whole bunch of cleaning up to do. But that was fun. This is actually one of my favorites. I've like I said at the top, I've done this one before. I really like it. It makes you feel good. So thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me, giving me an excuse to paint on a Friday night. I got to clean up because I'm a mess. So
Thank you, Mr. Orlando.
my pleasure, Andrea. Have a nice weekend. Thank you for setting this up.
Oh, no problem. Glad that you were able to come.
All right, everyone. Have a nice evening. Have a nice weekend.
See you
Those of you who
Monday.
are my students, I'll see you on Tuesday. Everybody else, I'll see you when I see you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. My pleasure.